You may not know this, but you probably have an unconscious dating mindset. We all do. It might be learned from our parents in early relationships or any other kind of formative childhood experience. But it affects so much of our behaviour when we meet someone we like. There are 3 types of people that I see struggling in dating all the time. I'm calling them, for the purpose of this video, the skater, the sinker, and the sideliner. And as I go through the characteristics of these 3 different archetypes, let me know in the comments which one you most identify with. The first archetype is the skater, like an ice skater on a frozen lake. The skater is someone who is out there dating a lot. This is someone who has definitely prioritized their dating life. They are open about the fact that they are looking for love, but they date like it's their job. There is a palpable fear of this person being on their own, of leaving any real gaps between anyone. They're constantly dating and jumping from one person to the next. That could be in a form of lots of short-term relationships, and as soon as one ends, they go straight to the next one. It could also be in the form of dates themselves, going on multiple dates every single week, never really having the time to be present with any one person or to be seen by the other person. In a sense, the skater lacks vulnerability. There's no time to go deep. There's no time to be seen, to actually open up about who they are. And importantly, there isn't the space to actually get hurt. Because if someone hurts their feelings, even if someone rejects them, even if someone that they've been seeing suddenly disappears, instead of in any way feeling or indulging that pain, they are straight on to the next. There is something inherently avoidant. There is the avoidance of any real pain, the avoidance of true emotional vulnerability, the kind of vulnerability that can actually allow you to be hurt in a situation. And I think one of the greatest dangers of skating when it comes to dating is that dating, to get a real connection, actually requires us to be present. It requires us to slow down enough to actually see things that we don't see when we're going at a pace, to see parts of someone that you don't see when you're dating so many people that you never really see anyone. So for the person who's skating, it's hard to even find that true, deep, organic connection that we are all looking for. When we say we want to find love, the second person I want to talk about is the sinker. This is the person who very much in the water. They meet someone that they like. They quickly become obsessed with that person. They become engrossed in that person's world. They go out of their way to try and impress this person, to become whomever this person wants them to be, or what they think this person wants them to be. They try to make themselves available for this person whenever they can. They go out of their way to please this person. They become anxiously attached. So the sinker is much more characterized by a kind of anxious attachment style. The sinker can make the other person too important too quickly. They're obsessed over why someone hasn't texted them, where the relationship is going, what the other person is thinking, They overanalyze about situations all the time, chopping it up 1,000 different ways. And it's almost impossible for the sinker to be themselves because they're so busy being whatever the other person wants them to be. The sinker is so busy trying to secure someone, trying to get them and to be whatever they think they need to be to get that person, that there's no room left for them to truly be who they are. There's no room left for them to have any needs, because when you spend all your time trying to please someone else, there is no room for the things that you want. You're afraid to even voice what you want, for fear it's going to push them away. So the sinker, in the process of becoming obsessed with this person, that they'll do anything to get, begin losing themselves. Then there's the third person, the sideliner. This is the one person that takes themselves out of the game altogether. It's like they're standing on the side of the lake, looking at all of the people in the lake, saying, that's not for me. Or they could list a load of reasons why this is true. I've been hurt too much in the past to even do this again. I'm so sick of men because all men are like this. Or I'm so sick of women because all women are like this. They will refer to dating as being impossible. They make generalizations. They become completely disenchanted by the process as a defense mechanism, so that they can never be rejected by a date. They reject dating themselves. The truth is that these different archetypes aren't always different people. They can be the same person at different stages of the dating game. It could be that we get scared that we're not going to meet someone, and so we start becoming very type A about dating itself, and we go out there and we date and we date and we date and we date, never really getting below the surface with anyone, almost treating dating like a game of how many dates we can go on, never giving ourselves time to breathe, constantly on a mission to find love, but finding that we never really meet anyone we connect with or like, until finally one day someone breaks through. Someone gets our attention. Maybe there's a specific kind of smile about this person. There's something interesting, mysterious, gripping about them, and all of a sudden we begin syncing with them. And of course, by the way, when you're dating that much, at a certain point, the person who's going to stand out is not necessarily the person that you have the greatest connection with on a deep level. It's the person who has the best riz. That's the person where we think, oh my God, there's something special about this person. I don't know what it is. There's just something about them. You don't end up rewarding the person that would become the best teammate to you in a relationship. You end up rewarding the person who's the best salesperson. We over-obsess. We overanalyze. We make them too important. We go out of our way to please them. We drop everything, including our own life. And we do everything we can to try and secure them. And when we inevitably get hurt in a relationship like that, with someone to whom we are giving way more than they deserve, we're so mortified that we decide, you know what, I am done with dating. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to date anymore. I am just going to be on my own. And so You do that for a while. You sideline yourself until eventually you get to the point where you start thinking, this can't be all there is. I need to get out there and meet someone. And you jump in with a ferociousness, again, to try to find someone in the state of panic. That leads to skating. And now, the cycle of going from skater to sinker to sideliner and all the way back again leads to dating burnout. And that's the thing we have to avoid if we want to find real love. We have to find a way to go through the process of dating in a way that is actually sustainable and even enriches our lives as we go. Learn the love, the process. And it doesn't have to be that we have to learn to love the process of going on loads of dates with different people that don't pan out. But there has to be something about the process that we love. Something about it that makes sense to us. Something about it we can frame and in a way that we can tell ourselves, I'm learning as I go. I'm getting closer to what I want. I am refining my tastes. I'm getting better at exerting my standards. I'm getting better at showing up as myself. I'm getting better at seeing other people through a compassionate lens and really getting to know them. There has to be something driving us beyond just the immediate result. And when we've done that, we've learned the antidote of skating, sinking, or sidelining ourselves. We've learned how to swim. Swimming is the answer to not being one of these three archetypes, and people who know how to swim in dating, they go at it at an organic pace. They're people that don't overdate, but they don't underdate either. Overdating is when you go on so many dates that you become the skater and you never really connect with anyone. Underdating is when you go on so few dates that you get obsessed with the first person that comes along. We need to find a dating cadence that works for us to build organic connections, to actually get to know people a little bit better, at least having a few dates between our dates so that we can have some follow-up, so that an attraction plot line can actually begin without being interrupted by a date the next evening. Swimming is about learning to stay hopeful during the process. It's about knowing that with someone or without someone, you're going to keep moving forward in your life. If it's progressing with someone, great. You'll keep moving forward either way. If it's not progressing with someone, you'll keep moving forward in another direction. And moving in another direction doesn't always have to mean immediately find someone else, so that you don't have to feel any pain of the situation. It's about actually feeling your feelings, being present enough with your feelings that you can heal. And then, when you meet someone new, being present enough with them to actually get to know them, to actually reveal who you are. The truth is, if we can find more joy in the dating process, we will be able to be more productive in the process, because we'll be able to sustain our energy in dating for longer. Swimming means not suddenly overvaluing the charismatic person that comes along, but instead more slowly evaluating who's got the kind of qualities that would make them great for a relationship in the way they show up, in the way that they treat you, and how at home you feel with this person, and how much of yourself this person brings out when you're with this person. Do you feel like the meanest you? Do you feel comfortable enough to do that? And do you feel like you make them feel comfortable to do the same? When we think like that, we're no longer rewarding the person who comes along and dazzles us. Someone may dazzle us, but we're still going to reserve our judgment for a time where we know that they have the right stuff to be a great teammate. And this inevitably involves going slower. You can't swim as fast as you can skate, but the results will be more real when you get them. When you're swimming, we focus on the connecting instead of the impressing. So what is the antidote to these three archetypes? How can we avoid them so we don't keep ending up in dating burnout? Now, if you're on the sidelines of dating right now, it takes courage to put yourself in the water. It really does. You can get hurt there. You can have disappointments there. But it's also where the living is. Because otherwise, you'll deny yourself a key part of yourself. You're not just denying yourself someone else. You're denying yourself something that is in you. The desire to connect. The desire for romance. So being in the water is a way of connecting with ourselves. Even if we don't find the right person straight away. But when you're in the water, having taken the courageous step it takes, confidence to slow down to an organic pace, even when you're faced with people who are trying to move at lightning speed, or love bomb you with their rears and all of the things that they want you to feel so that they can get theirs. But it also takes confidence to say no to the wrong thing when it comes along, especially if it's the only thing that's come along in a while. Swimming is staying in the game and continuing to move forward. Dating can be a daunting process. If you need help navigating the waters, contact me through my website.